CBK lands knockout blow on Sirisena. Namal's dreams shattered. Thalathas dejection shows SJB divisions. A debate over Sajith AKD debate.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
CBK lands knockout blow on Sirisena. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party has had a checkered history of victories and defeats, but since Maithripala Sirisena took over its reins, the party has steadily been going downhill. The Leader TV has, on several occasions, revealed with proof an attempt to oust him from the chairmanship. Now it has happened. The latest crisis in the SLFP began after Sirisena tried through his proposed alliance to run for president again. Namal Lanza's new alliance fired the first salvo against him. Before that, Central Committee member Montegu Sarathchanda, a diehard loyalist of Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumaratunga, went to courts seeking Sirisena's ouster. At the EXCO meeting on March 30th, Sirisena removed Mahinda Amarawera, Lasantha Alagiwane and Duminda Disanaiki from their party positions. Even before that was taken up by news channels, Montegu reacted and asked Sirisena in writing to step down immediately without taking the SLFP to further ruin. On Monday morning, the ousted trio went to courts and obtained an injunction against their removal. To make matters worse for Sirisena, the party patron CBK obtained an injunction on Thursday against his functioning as the SLFP chairman. Encouraged by the two court orders, the trio stormed the Dali Road headquarters later in the day. After giving the staff instructions on how to work in the future, they also held a media briefing. Amarawera said the party has now embarked on a new journey and invited all defectors to return. According to political sources, the CBK faction has now taken over control of the party headquarters. In the meantime, work has resumed on the formation of a SLFP-led alliance. Amarawera says that with the court orders against Sirisena, the only hurdle against the activation of Podujana Eksath Peramuna is over. This group has Alagiawane as its secretary. It is said that they are going to appoint a leadership council headed by CBK in a bid to launch their alliance. Amarawera held a late-night parley at his place to discuss arrangements. Anura Yapa says 21 SLPP MPs will ally with their alliance with the chair symbol. Patali too is going to join it. Speaking to the media at his home with a worried face, Sirisena accused CBK of orchestrating everything. The one who even went against the constitution of the country has now been body-slammed by CBK in a bombardment of democratic attacks. Namal's dreams shattered. Jayagamu Sri Lanka, organised by the Foreign Employment Ministry, took place at the Gampaha municipal grounds a few days ago. Present on the occasion were State Minister Pushpakumara, Kokila Harshani, Ashu, Waruna Deepti and others. Before the commencement of the proceedings, they were having a chit-chat when Kokila suddenly remarked that they were still unaware of their presidential candidate. Ashu allayed her fears, saying the announcement will come at the right time. She then asked what would happen if Ranil contested under the elephant symbol. Ashu answered with a smile that her boss in the Gampaha district has publicly said that they would not support if that happens. What our sir predicts becomes true all the time. If that happens, we will have to take his side, Kokila said. Ashu asked if Namal too is going to contest and noted he has a lot to learn from his father. That's what our sir says. In politics, one should know how to avoid conmen, Lakshman Gunawardena added. Kokila hoped both the president and her party would make a good decision. That means even SLPP parliamentarians like Kokila are still unaware of the candidate they would support. In the meantime, Namal supporter Eranda Ginigai insists that no one is yet to give a reasonable answer to the question as to why the SLPP should support Ranil to become the president. In a Facebook post, he says the leading reason given is that if not, AKD will win and the JVP will unleash a mass murder of opponents. If that is the reason and becomes the truth, that means the JVP has already won. It is that we take our political decisions for fear of the JVP, he says. Elsewhere, more SLPP MPs are extending their support to Ranil. State Minister Rohana Dissanayake says he will back him if he contests. Responding to a question raised by a journalist, he said all in the SLPP have a responsibility to support him for having taken the country out of its crisis. He added that it is not yet time for Namal to contest. Thalathas' dejection shows SJB divisions. An agreement was inked this morning for some MPs of the Freedom People's Congress to join the SJB-led alliance. GL Piris and 5 others separately signed MOUs to enter the Samagi Jana Sandanaya. The others are Dylan Pereira, Nalaka Godahawa, KP Kumarasiri, Upul Galapati and Wasantha Yapa Bandara. Even previously, 5 of them entered into similar pacts with the SJB. It was last December at GL's home, but Dylan wanted that to be kept secret. One of the signatories, Chanajaya Sumana, is today with Roshan Ranasinghe. Only Galapati is the new entrant. The December agreements were hushed up due to internal opposition from the SJB. Rishad Bathiuddin gave it in writing to Sajith that he would leave the alliance if Jayasumana was accepted. In the meantime, Godahawa got into trouble with the SJB's Economic Council over the finance minister of a future government. Sajith promised Harsha that he would be the one. The leader has been facing internal opposition over accepting SLPP lawmakers who raised their hands in support of every traitorous act. That caused the delay in the pact with the FPC. According to Lanka News, SJB's Thalatha Athukarale has told a social media channel that she still believes that they should not have broken away from the UNP. She also said the management board of the SJB has not met for months and that it should have been consulted before accepting outsiders to the party. Owing to dejections emanating due to issues in that regard, Thalatha said she was keeping to herself these days, but insisted that she was not posing any challenge to the party or its leader through her silence. Thalatha also said that since 2020 she wanted the two parties to unite, and several rounds of talks took place towards that end. Up to 14 MPs have the same opinion, she added, but some say the UMP no longer exists and that they would support Ranil at presidential polls if he breaks away from the Rajapaksas only. A debate over Sajith AKD debate. A website carried certain comments by SJB economic expert Erin Wickramaratne with regard to the proposed debate with the NPP. Speaking to the media, he revealed their questions to be posed at the debate. They include the NPP's stand on loss incurring state entities and policies on education and foreign affairs. Another article named the NPP's Economic Council that challenges the SJB's Harsha de Silva, Kabir Hashim and Eran Trio for a face-off. They are Handonetti, Professor Anil Jayasinghe and Professor Sitha Bandara. It is said a debate on economic matters would take place between these two groups. Harsha said that with presidential polls due, Sajith is ready to encounter AKD. We are ready for Tilvin too. But before all that, they should face the 3 of us, because we were the first to issue the challenge, he said. Pro-SJB media queries as to why the NPP is reluctant to accept that challenge. Why has Harsha become worried all of a sudden? He and the other economic duo think what would happen if Sajith ends up humiliated at a debate with AKD. It is said that Godahawa was the first to suggest that Sajith should have a live debate with AKD. Anyway, Sajith said he was prepared to face him any time. But he insisted that with the SJB being the first to pose the challenge, economics experts of the two sides should be the first to have a debate. Now, it seems that a separate debate is needed to decide which should come first, Sajith versus AKD, or the economic panels of the two parties. Is this a sign that neither will happen in the end? With a promise to bring you the latest from the political scene, that's it for today.